even though I'm healthy now, is eventually going to cause more of a problem.
Do you think that, so are you emotionally eating?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so is most of America. It's
But
good that you're aware of it. How much of that do you think has to do with the fact that you feel pressure to lose weight? Um, Meaning, because you have this pressure, you have obviously identified that you believe you've had a weight problem your whole life, like a scourge. Your whole life. It's been a problem for you. Would you say that that is puts a lot of pressure on you with food? Because you want to fix the scourge. You want to fix the problem. So the relationship between you and food is become more tense than it should be. So you can't relax around food. You always have to be conscious of what you're eating because you've got to be in a deficit. You have to deprive the body to where it starves enough to where it'll utilize your fat, right?
Right.
So there's some perfectionism in your relationship with food because of the pressure to lose weight for health. And for whatever reasons. I mean, these are the two reasons that I think that are maybe the most valid for you, but we could say you want to feel good about yourself. You want to have more energy. You want to feel more sexy. You want to have different clothes. Right? The layers and layers and layers of cultural reasons why women want to lose weight in particular, right? I want to hear it though. Would you say that because you have this pressure to lose weight, that the relationship you have with food and the way that you see food has created this need to have perfectionism in it?
Yes.
It's got to be clean. It's got to be perfect. Have you recognized in any way that that is a root cause of your emotional eating?
Certainly could be.
Well, have you made the connection that when you're emotionally eating, it's because you feel deprived, because you feel you need it, right? Do you think that maybe because you're depriving yourself of food, that is why you gravitate to food when you're stressed?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever made that connection before?
No.
No, I know, right? Because no diet would ever admit that. Ever. Because they make hundreds of billions of dollars telling you to deprive yourself of food because you're not thin enough yet. How many people who diet have emotional eating issues because there is a level of perfectionism with their food? How many do you think? Give me a percentage.
I would say most.
I would agree. Disordered eating and eating disorders don't start with food consumption. They start with food deprivation. Did you know that? All eating disorders, all of them. Clinical, you read it up, someone's been diagnosed with an eating disorder. Do you know where it starts? A diet. It doesn't start with the relationship with food. It starts with the deprivation of food, this need to perfect it, and then the vulnerability of failure and shame and feeling like you suck, you can't handle it. And then, how your relationship with food changes as a consequence of that perfectionism. So
go ahead.
So I want to ask you this question. Your goal is health.
Right.
Okay. Have you ever considered that maybe dieting has been extremely detrimental to your health?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Now you're seeing it, right? Like, wow, I never thought that reducing my food and controlling it with this perfectionistic idealism is what creates these impulses to eat when I'm stressed, when I'm celebrating, when I need to justify it, right? It creates this impulse to eat that ultimately is why I struggle with body fat. So can you see that it doesn't start with you're fat and you need to lose weight to be healthy? It starts with you might want to stop dieting because it's psychologically not healthy. And it perpetuates the physical manifestation of starvation, which is more fat, right? The more fat you gain, that's a sign of starvation. Your body has that it's compensatory. Naturally, it's supposed to do that. So the biggest danger you have to your health is dieting. It isn't your weight. Your weight is a compensation for the dieting. So let me ask you this question. If you were allowed to eat anything you have available, anything that's available is now an option for you. There's no rules, there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no moralizing of food. There's no bad food. There's nothing moral about it.